again. I'm working on my album for the 5th today, and that leads me to a page of 3x4s. Now, one of the things that I happened upon when I was working on these earlier pages and had that feeling that things were too dark was that the brown cardstock was just not helping me with the sets of 3x4s. Because if I look at it like this, it's much lighter. So I'm going to put my Christmas card photo in here. And I'll just use that one that I cut apart to work on it. Now, and I had a question that was asked, am I sending my photos out to be printed or am I printing them at home this time? And everything you've seen so far, I have printed at home. I have a photo printer. I have two normal photo printers. So I have a normal printer, which prints photos, but I would also do all my normal paperwork printing on there too. And that's a Canon Pixma. It's so old that they don't make it anymore, the particular model number that I have. But it's just always, it's worked really well, and I haven't had a need to replace it, so it's old and keeps on going. And so it prints really lovely quality, and it has done for a long time. But I do like photos printed from a proper printer better than ones printed at home. The other photo printer I have is the Canon Selfie printer, which is the small little, and we used to call them toaster printers, but they don't particularly look like toasters anymore. But it's a small little box like this, and you can print straight from your phone wirelessly and all of that sort of modern stuff, which my old printer doesn't do. It has cables. And so both of them, they will certainly print photos that are scrap quality, but they don't look as good as if I order prints. What I may find is that at the end of the project, I end up ordering prints if I'm not happy with things like the big photos like this. But I think this year I will wait and see at the end if I want to make any changes. In the past, I've worked at more of a delay because I wanted to order all the prints together in one big go. But this year I'm creating as I go, so that's not quite the easy option. So there you go, I've printed it at home. That's the short answer, sorry. Now, this is looking much lighter and brighter to me. I just printed these at a random size, just slotted them on an A4 and printed it all as one sheet. So as it goes, it's not the right height, so I need to add something to this card. I'll go ahead and I'll use the brown, but I'm going to cover it all up. So I'll put it flush to the top, and then I'll add something to the bottom. Really. I decided with prompt 5 that I would focus on the Christmas cards that I have done and not the ones that I haven't done. So I did lots of Christmas cards that went out with Christmas kit purchases and stamps. Tried to do as many as I could. But it means that I have not done my Christmas cards for close family and friends yet. But I will do them later in the month, and I'll slot them in my album when I do them. That's fine. Okay, so I want something here at the bottom. On my Planning Happiness little calendar, I use some washi tape to kind of color code different family events when different people are home and that sort of thing. And I used some of that aqua, so I think maybe I'll bring in a little bit more aqua over here by using this snowflake print. And I'll just kind of duplicate something that I have done once or twice in the album already, and I will do a few more times, and that's to cut just a very subtle wavy line rather than it being a straight line. And that wavy line then makes me feel like I want a little bit of embellishment here, which would be the perfect place to add my number for the day. For my number, I'm going to layer one punched circle from the green, and then another punched circle with vellum, so that I'm keeping that lighter quality that I wanted to emphasize. not get too dark even though I'm using all those colors. And there's my 5. Looking to see if maybe I want more stars over here, but I think if I leave just that gold one, then it has a little bit more glitz as it is. I do feel like I need some red here, but I'm not quite sure what that's going to be yet, so I'll leave it just for the moment. And then I have these 3 cards to work on getting my story down. To add just a little bit more to this card, because I was feeling like it needed something but the star wasn't the right thing, I'm going to use this snowflake to pick up on the snowflakes in the pattern paper underneath, and to mix the gold and the silver, which is something that I wanted to do throughout this album. And I quite often will do that in my Christmas album, just because I feel like what you see in December is such a mix of gold and silver, where the rest of the year tend to have one or the other, but at Christmas, all of it. And so I'm going to have the photo there. The one diagonal is going to be just embellishment, and I want to use this little die cut card and this transparency behind it. I don't want that to be a tag. I'm just going to use it as a rectangle. And just layer these all together really simply. Which then leaves me with 2 cards that are finished and quite simple, and 2 cards that need to hold my journaling, but the patterns are really busy. So what I'm going to do is do some journaling in strips, which I used to do on my pages all the time, and I haven't done it for a while now, so it feels like a nice time to return to that idea. I have this partial journaling card where I used the other part on my entry earlier, and I'm going to write in horizontal lines, obviously, and then cut that apart so that some of the lines are up here and some of the lines are down here to tell the story. A really simple writing. I'm just going to add ink to the edges of these so that they stand out a little bit against that busy pattern background. And then these are going to go on that top right card, and I'll do a bit more for the bottom left, but same technique. I don't want them to go all the way across both edges, in theory, which means I can't do that because I've written it too wide, so I'm going to have to cut it down a bit more. Okay, all the journaling in place. The only little last bit of embellishment I'm going to add is a holly set to each of these 2 cards to make it kind of coordinate with this one. So super simple. Just going to add my enamel dots, and then I'm done. So that's a much quicker video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.